Vic Carucci with Jerry Sullivan, Kimberley Martin here at One Bills Drive. So the big homecoming this week in Carolina for Sean McDermott, for Brandon Beane as well. But let's talk about McDermott, Jerry, from the standpoint that this is a team. He was the defensive coordinator of the Panthers the last 6 years, certainly knows the weaknesses, and I'm sure going to focus on exploiting those. And on the other side, his mentor, one of his teachers, Ron Rivera, the head coach of the Panthers, knows a lot about McDermott, but probably not as much about the Bills players. Do you think Sean has a little bit of an edge here?
He probably has a little bit of an edge. Defense generally does against offense in this type of situation. They better hope so, because they're facing a gauntlet coming up of some of the best quarterbacks of all time, starting with Newton, who you could argue is not even going to be one of the top 6 that they face this year. I have questions, of course. They played the Jets. We find out for real this week, but this is a defensive-oriented coach who's supposed to make a difference on that side, and they're showing some progress. So, interesting test this week, and I do expect to see some good things.
Very different challenge, of course, for the Bills' defense, especially the defensive front. This will not be Josh McCown, journeyman guy, not a very good quarterback on a team that really had no other options, the Jets. Cam Newton, big, strong, physical, hard to bring down, big arm, accurate arm. Looked a little rusty in the first half against San Francisco last week, but came around, and their running game combining for a 23-3 victory. The defensive line, I mentioned that because of the challenge, Kimberley, they're going to have this week against Newton. But another, I don't know if the word is challenge, but certainly an issue lingering is that of Marcell Dareus. The fact that he got such limited snaps, highest paid player on the team. And I know the coaches talk about this, McDermott and Leslie Frazier, being a rotation thing, but it's still something that's an issue.
Well, that's the thing. It's, you're paying guys big money. You expect them to be on the field. So the question is, can the Bills, do they think they can win with Marcell? Obviously, he only played 50-something snaps, 50-something percent of the snaps against the Jets. So I think it is troubling, especially as somebody who's new to this team coming in and trying to figure out how they look at these guys. And with a new regime, I think Marcell is somebody obviously from the old regime. And where do they see him fitting in? I would think he's making more than a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah. And I can't imagine that fans feel good about seeing one of the highest paid players on the sidelines.
Yeah, it has that feel of, okay, he's part of the old regime, and we've seen what's happened to, quote, old regime guys. They end up not on the Bills any longer. So that will wrap it up from One Bills Drive. For Jerry Sullivan, for Kimberley Martin, for Jim McCoy, I'm Vic Carucci. Check back for much, much more on BuffaloNews.com, and check out the all-new BN Blitz app.